wanna do. It's on now, payback. Do whatever I wanna do. It's on now, payback. Do whatever I wanna do. But now my heart is gone cold.
You're a fool. You are literally a fucking fool. What you've done is you've put your life against your sexual experience. You've put your life against a penis or a vagina, and there is no penis or vagina worth your life. You think you know, and you hope you know. But at the end of the day, you have no idea what your partner is doing when your partner's not with you. If the penis is not in your pocket, you have no idea what it's doing when it's not with you. We are making decisions for our bodies that will affect our future with the hope that what I think I know is true.
Okay.
What I think I know is true. What do I think I know? I think I know that my partner loves me. I think I'm in a monogamous relationship. I think I know that my partner would never be outside of this relationship. And those are things that you cannot know for sure. I think that Janice Rowe was bad as hell. The criticism of Janice Rowe was that she was a sharp black woman, you know. And that's just not a criticism of black. It's like, how can Meryl Streep be bad and Janet Jackson, who plays a role similar to her, be a bitch and be ugly? And so that's a piece that we haven't addressed with. But the issue of the man, you know, dating someone who is on the down low, which we give too much credit to, by the way, in this country. What we really need to be talking about is how to create an environment conducive so men can be who they want to be without shame and stigma and fear of rejection. But I thought that Tyler Perry did it tastefully. He allowed the man to walk away with some dignity, and he allowed Janet to regain her dignity. And I thought that was really courageous of Tyler Perry. And it was courageous of him to even address the issue of the down low. But let's not get jaded about this issue about men who have sex with men, who have sex with women, who don't disclose their HIV status. Because statistics does not show that men on the down low are the driving force of infection among women. The other thing about the Color Girls is my character was a mixture of Janet and I can't remember the name of the character, the girl who was basically the whore of the movie, the one who had been sexually abused. I, growing up as a child, I wasn't a whore, but I related to that character. I related to men wanting to be between my legs because of who I am and the beauty, and they wanted that thing. But then once the sex was over, I became an ordinary black woman. And so part of her character for me was about not that she was a whore, but that she was now deciding who gets to lay between her legs. Because for years as a child, she couldn't decide who laid between her legs. And so I see my character somewhere between the two. And I, connected to HIV, decided who laid between my legs. They were the cream of the crop. They were men with six-figure incomes and Giorgio Armani suits. And a Mercedes was required. And so, and I thought I was a bad bitch, because I can get who I wanted when I want it. As I am tweeting now. Okay, so I came to social media kicking and screaming. I had had no speaking engagements. I mean, I was hit incredibly hard by the economy. People just ain't bringing people to speak. People ain't spending no money to bring people to speak. And my best friend insisted, who's almost 20 years younger than me, almost 20 years younger than me, forced me to go to Facebook, and then he forced me to come to Twitter. And then I started blogging. And this is what I found, was that everybody was on Twitter. Everybody. And the leftovers are on Facebook. It was an instantaneous audience. And not only was it an instant audience, but I could reach more people. Like, I have 4,000 followers in a year. I've been doing Twitter for a year. I have 4,000 followers in a year. And if 2 of my followers retweet what I've said, you know, in 2 minutes, I've had 6,000, 7,000 people see my message. And that's the power of Twitter. I mean, it is a powerful tool. But everyone's there. And so what I've done is I live on Twitter. It's a day in the life of a diva living with AIDS. And so I start from the early morning to the late at night. And I walk them through my day. You know, people see me on covers of magazines. I want them to feel my pain equally as well. And I try to show them what my life is like living with AIDS, and what my life is like being this famous black woman with AIDS. I mean, it's where my celebrity status, kind of odd, intersects with the disease in my life. And so I try to give them everything they need to know. So when I go have lunch with my girlfriend, I tweet about that. But then as I walk away from her office and I start shitting on myself and I have to go in Ghirardelli's and wash my butt in the toilet, it's only fair that I tweet about that too, so that they can get the good, the bad, and the ugly. So they could see that, yes, I had a lunch at the Four Seasons Hotel and it was fabulous, but AIDS reminded me that AIDS does what it does. And a part of this is to show that we can treat you with this disease if you become infected. But you don't want to become infected because it's a hard disease to live with. And then, you know, some of it's not just about AIDS. Some of it's about living against the odds. You know, some people tell me they live for my tweets. I mean, and people say love when I talk about God and sex in the same tweet. You know, or cuss and talk about God in the sex tweet. And they're like, man, are you a minister too? And they love the fact that I talk so much crap, but yet I have the education to back it up. And so I use the sum total of who I am to get a message across. That be comfortable in the skin that you're in. Know the decisions that you're making about your life, because you can't redo it. Some shit just can't be undone. And I say the things often that people think, but are too afraid to say it. But you know what? When I get an email from a person, a young woman, who says to me, I read your blog, I read your tweets, and you make me want to be a better woman. You make me do better. I just did a series on herpes where I talked about shame having herpes. I had someone Facebook me to tell me that they finally let go of the shame of being an adult survivor of childhood sexual abuse, and they told the rest of the family members that they had been abused. And so it's unorthodox for a woman of my age to use social media as my primary it's my job. Twitter and blogging is my job. The other thing too is that I respond back to tweets, so that a lot of stars tweet and want to be retweeted but they don't retweet other people, nor do they have dialogue. And someone tweeted me last night that they really appreciate the fact that I talk to my followers, and I do. I can't follow everybody, but I can have a conversation with you. I can talk back to you, and it's exciting. I've had 2 tweet ups. The first ever HIV/AIDS tweet ups, where you came and shot my first video, and I'm planning one in New York in June. So I'm taking my social media to New York. And the thing about my tweet ups is that everyone's having them. But the difference is mine is that there are conversation cards all around the room. And people can pick one up and tweet a statistic about HIV. And people that aren't at the tweet up can follow the conversation. There are condoms floating around the room. There's lit floating around the room. And we're still having a good time. We're socializing. One, I did it at a bar. They were drinking and eating. The last one, I did it at an ice cream shop. And they was eating candy and ice cream and tweeting about HIV/AIDS. And I'm not sure what I'm doing in New York, but we're working on it now. It's wonderful. I love it. It is. I heard Deepak talk about the power of Twitter when I went to hear him speak recently. And it is a tool that should not be taken for granted. I've been able to reach so many lives and touch so many lives. I like it. Fucking Fridays is when people fuck and don't think. And everybody plans to fuck on Friday. Everybody plans to fuck on Friday. And so I push it all day to the end of the day. Fuck, go to the drugstore and get you some condoms. You planning to fuck with a condom. Don't be a fool. HIV is, in the bars. You think you know, you hope you know, but you may be a fucking fool. And then on Saturday morning, I remind them, for everyone that has sex without a condom, that I hope that what they thought they knew about their partner was true. Because if it wasn't, then they are a fucking fool. Because they'll be spending the rest of their life fighting this fucking disease. People either love me or hate me. There's almost no in between for me. But people will say she was honest, she was transparent, she was forthright, she was passionate. And it wasn't so much about her, but it was about others. And so that what I have done my entire life, and not even just with HIV, but with my politics that I did the first 12 years of my life, it was about bringing about change. I was trying to bring about change in a larger society. Now I'm trying to bring about individual change within ourselves. And so that what I've been doing isn't in vain, that it meant something. It's cutting. Everything I've done so far is kind of cutting edge. First black woman to be on the cover of a magazine. There are other AIDS activists on Twitter, but no one's been able to garner what I've been able to in such a short period of time, and no one's as unique as my Twitter account. And so that I was transparent and selfless.